Now we're going to have our next guest, and here to talk to us today about multiple sclerosis is Deborah. MS is currently classified as an autoimmune disease of the central nervous system, the brain, the spinal cord, and the optic nerves. This type of disease attacks the myelin and the protective covering of the nerves, causing inflammation and often damaging the myelin, as you can see here, healthy myelin, and here demyelination is here. You can see how it's destroying the myelin sheath there. So if the damage to the myelin is slight, nerve impulses travel with minor interruptions. However, if damage is substantial and if scar tissue replaces the myelin, nerve impulses may be completely disrupted and the nerve fibers themselves can be damaged. So here to tell us about her results is Deborah. Hello, welcome to the call.
Hi, so I don't know quite where you want me to start with this. So, because I've never really spoken about my condition publicly before.
Well, you can just start with you started with, 1 to 2 drops, right? Twice a day.
Yeah, I did. And I was diagnosed relatively recently in the scheme of things at the end of 2016. But before then, I knew that something wasn't right, and I had actually been diagnosed with osteoarthritis, and I sort of put my walking and my unease of walking and my kind of lack of coordination down to osteoarthritis, because I'd had MRIs and that's what it had shown. And then I thought, no, it doesn't feel right. And a friend of mine who's a nurse looked at me and she said, I know plenty of people with osteoarthritis and they don't walk like you do. I think you need to go and see a neurologist. So I went to see a neurologist and I was diagnosed with MS after a series of different MRIs and tests where they wired up my brain and my feet and did lots of sort of electrical circuit tests. And so that was a big shock because I didn't know what it would mean. And I think the shock of the diagnosis sent me into a bit of a spin. And as a result, I had what I now understand was a big sort of MS attack, and I couldn't walk. And it ended up with me basically falling flat on the ground and basically waiting until some paramedics came and picked me up and put me back on my feet, because I didn't even have the strength to get back up again. So over the period of a year, I started to be able to walk again, and it was quite devastating. Obviously, just imagine that you can't walk, and you could walk before, and then you can't. It was devastating. And I was on crutches, and I was saying to Sandy, I could sort of manage to get to the kettle to make a cup of tea. But once you've made a cup of tea, then what? You have to take it somewhere. And if you're on crutches, you can't really carry a mug or anything. And at the time, my partner was working away from home, so we'd leave on a Monday and come back on a Friday night. And I was so literally on my own with 2 very exuberant deerhounds and trying to run a business. And it was really difficult. But fast forward to taking the clean slate, over the years, people have had suggested lots of different natural therapies to me. So when my friend Marina said, oh, I've got something that was going to help, I took it with good grace because I knew she meant well. But I thought, oh, well, I wonder what this is going to bring. Because my experience is I'd had a few things that had helped: healing and raw food. And I'm a raw food chef, so that was handy. Also I did a green juice fast, which was very sort of cleansing. And I did that for 3 months, and that was hard: wheatgrass and green juice. So Marina said, look, I'm so convinced about this that is going to help you. I'm going to send you a bottle. And I thought, okay, I'll give it a go. And so I took 1 drop in the morning and 1 at night. And this was started mid-September. And then I said, well, how do I take it? What do I do? And to be quite honest, I still don't know what it is I am taking. I mean, I've looked at the product, but I've just sort of been doing what she's told me to do. So, so I took it in the morning, and I increased by 1 drop a day up to 10 drops. And so that's where I've stayed. So currently I'm doing 10 drops in the morning and 10 in the evening. And she kept texting me saying, how are you getting on? How are you getting on? Well, I started taking it probably about 2 weeks after one of my dogs passed away. So I wasn't in the best state. I literally just sort of got on the couch and pulled the duvet over me, and I wasn't wanting to engage with anything in the world. So I wasn't really in touch with how I was feeling, and I was probably feeling worse than I would have done normally anyway. So I kept saying, well, I think there's a bit of a difference, but I don't really know. And she said, keep taking it, keep taking it. So I kept taking it. And then after a couple of weeks, I thought, oh, no, I'm feeling like a bit like my old self again. But the thing is, with any sort of condition you're diagnosed with, you sort of forget what your old self was. And I felt that I just had a new normal, and actually coming to terms with a new normal is really difficult. And so if you're very active before, and then you can't be active, and you've got to sort of redefine your life around this new sort of set of parameters of what you can and can't do, it was really tough. So I have noticed that I'm walking a lot better now, and after probably about a month, I said to her, no, I think this is making a difference. And I said, what's this other product they've got on the website? So I had a look at that, and I said, oh, is it going to help with brain fog? Yeah, okay, well, I get a lot of that. So I started taking the 0. So I've been taking 1 in the morning and 1 in the evening, and it's made a massive difference. So one of the things about MS, I mean, everyone's MS is different. Everyone experiences it differently, even though there's a broad set of symptoms. So if you had 100 people with MS in the room, they would all have similar symptoms, but it manifests differently in every person. So brain fog was a big one for me, and having, running a business, holding lots of different bits of information in my head, holding lots of different conversations in my head, and having lots of different ideas, I just couldn't do it. I was having to develop strategies to remember things, like writing everything down in a way that I'd never had to do that before. But anyway, no, it's just completely changed. It's amazing, really. And I still don't know what earth I'm taking. I mean, maybe you could enlighten me.
That'll be on the next call.
For whatever it is I've been taking, thank you. I keep saying to Marina, what is it? How does it work? She said, well, it's zeolite. And she said, it works a bit like it's a sort of a cage, and it takes the heavy metals. And I thought, I didn't even know that MS could be as a result of heavy metals. I mean, and so that's the bit that I can't quite get my head around, because my neurologist, I mean, when I went to see my neurologist, and I've seen him quite frequently, he said, oh, we're going to put you on this. They wanted to put me on a monthly infusion of something toxic. And I said, no, thank you. I'm going to do this naturally. And he said, oh, no, I could definitely get you on this sort of very good treatment. And I was grateful that he could do that, because not many people get to go on these particular treatments. But I said, no, I just don't want to do it, because I just don't know what it's going to do to me in the long run. And I'm sure I can tackle this naturally. So I'm at a stage now where I'm tackling this through gut health and clean slate. And I'm walking, and I'm able to stand up and run classes, obviously not physically because we're in a pandemic, but I'm doing them now. I'm doing master classes from my kitchen online. And
Wow.
Yeah, I would never have done that before. I wouldn't have had the confidence, because the thing about MS is it just shakes the very core of you, you know, so it just really shook my confidence as much as anything else. So I didn't really want to stand in front of anyone. It was different when I was running classes, because I could sort of sit on a stool, and people who came to the classes, I could tell them, look, I've got MS, so I'm going to need you to get up the ladders to get the ingredients. But no, it's completely changed